Hello everybody and welcome back to the British Pint. My name is Christoph and today we're going to do a quick tasting of the 1890 Whitbread X, my first historically brewed beer. It will be one of many to follow and I'm actually brewing the third one right behind me at the moment. So I just want to have a few quick minutes to try the tasting. I have the dregs of the keg now in this bottle just because I had very few leftovers and I didn't want to leave this bottle like that with all the oxygen in the head. So I'm going to try this, see what it tastes like, get some information for future brews. I definitely didn't get the gravity I wanted with this beer, so it's going to be not very well balanced in terms of gravity to IBUs. I got 63 IBUs from this one, and I wanted to get around 15 degree Plato gravity. I got 12.5. And yeah, now this is fermented down quite well. I'll show you the data here on the right side of the screen, just because I did measure it just a second ago, but I haven't calculated it. I'll do that later. Okay, so this one smelled very fruity, and there is no late addition of hops or dry hop or anything. That is very interesting. I wonder if that was all the yeast. It was the White Labs 007 dry ale yeast, and yeah, I thought that would be very neutral, but maybe it wasn't. I did ferment it at the starting temperature of 15 degrees Celsius as they recommend here. I pitched it there and then just let it rise gently at room temperature. And so it might have gone off to 20, 21 degrees towards the end, but not at the beginning of fermentation. The beer has very good foam. I did adjust the water quite a bit with gypsum, if I remember well, and some calcium chloride. This is not perfectly clear now because these are the dregs with a lot of yeast in it, but I did notice that the bottle is actually quite clear, so that worked very well. The high levels of salt additions usually help clarify the beers quite a lot. Yeah, it's very fruity. It reminds me a bit of the Sefale SO4, at least when I propagated it as liquid yeast. But as we know nowadays, the genetics are very, very different between the SO4 and any of the Whitbread strains. So it's very unlikely that the old rumor that this would be a Whitbread strain is true. I'm not sure if you can see the color here. This is a very pale yellow. There was the invert sugar number, was it number 2 in there? You will know which sugar it was, and I will write it on the screen somewhere. So you will know that there's a sugar in there that might add some fruity notes. These invert sugars are very fruity, all of them. And yeah, I think we can try and see what it tastes like. Yeah, it has a very intense bitterness towards the end that builds up. That is very heavy. It's really like a modern IPA in feel. It's very fruity, and I really don't understand why it's so... It doesn't feel ester fruity or fusel alcohol fruity. It really feels clean and hoppy. And that's very confusing. There was one addition at the start of the boil and one after 60 minutes, not the last 60 minutes. How long was the boil time? 1.5 hours. Okay, so there's a 30-minute addition of Golding in there. That makes sense. Yeah. And I had some cluster as well and Golding, I think. Yeah. So 30 minutes of Golding already smells so fruity. That's really remarkable. I think there's some lemon in there. Yeah, it's really like lemon sorbet ice cream. So just this intense fruitiness with the sweetness. And then the bitterness actually gives you a bit of lemon peel idea. It's actually a really nice beer. I thought it would be very dry, very simple, underwhelming, far too bitter. It's not too bitter. It's actually already nice. And that means all these 60 IBU beers that were made as mild ales for quick consumption would actually work in the time back then. That's really fascinating. So with a bit more body from the grain, it would probably be a bit more mouth-filling, though I do have a somewhat more intense mouthfeel, which might come from the invert sugar. They are supposed to do some of that, yeah. So yeah, just really very nice, easy drinking ale with what would it be, 5% alcohol, something like that? You will have seen it on the screen. Yeah, very nice, very thirst quenching somehow, fresh, you know, summery. It's summer now. It's a great beer for that. As I mentioned, I will have to send some of these to people who helped me here. For example, the guy who gave me the Chevalier, or sold me the Chevalier. He didn't give it for me for free. But he also wanted to have some of my first beers. then Ron Pattinson, if he wants to, he will have one. He might join me in a future video. He said he would if he had time, but I have no idea when that will be or if it will be possible on the days that I will be brewing in the future. So maybe not, maybe yes, we'll see. But I will definitely send him a bottle because I kept pestering him, asking for information. And then, yeah, I think this is a really good start to the series of historical brews. I will do 2 keeping beers and lots of mild beers on the way, just to try to use up all the Chevalier. And I have already decided after the second brew that I did yesterday that will definitely increase the amount of Chevalier use to get to a certain gravity because it does give less yield. Okay, that would be it then for today, and I will see you next time when it's another historic brew. Or maybe there will be one of the other normal clones in between. We'll see. Until then, take care. Bye bye.